white paper in half and fold your brown paper separately in half because it's a little bit bigger. Then put needle holes through the binding of the paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can go as high as you want to the top. This is going to be the binding of the book. We will attach this after. Once you got your papers together and you get all the holes in there, you can begin sewing. Put the knot in the back and follow your holes through, all the way through. Go up and down a few times. Back through, making sure it's tight. You go down and back up. Now, once you get this all sewed up, leave a line hanging out in the back of your book. I must have lost you. Back of your book. Line up your brown paper with your big needle. Poke the holes through to match up. And then again, sew through to combine both of them. Now that it's sewed, it doesn't have to be like pretty or anything like that. In the middle, try to make it a little bit more so because, you know, it's the middle of the book. With this part, this is where you can go wherever you want to do. You can trim this down a little bit, or you can fold it over and sew it onto the main thing along with the fabric, but I must warn you, it gets difficult that way. I'm going to trim it along to match my paper, and then I'm going to add my fabric. When I add my fabric, I'm going to do the same thing. Sew along. Just sew along right inside. Just sew along. You can put one on the back, put one on the front. You can do it together. You can do it on a sewing machine. If you have thick enough paper, if you have very thin paper, I don't recommend it. I'm trying to get thick paper to do this. Sketch paper is really good for this. That's what I like to use. When it's all said and done, it'll look similar to this. It'll be just a fabric book. Open it up. I attached a bookmark in this one. I did make a video when I was making this one, but unfortunately, it somehow only caught audio. So I was just quickly putting together another one. So I'm going to quickly sew that up. This was done with the sewing machine. As you can see, there were errors. It was bunching up. But this is good because then I can show where my errors were. I've sewn littler ones. This is the biggest one I've ever made. As you can see, it's about the size of my head. On this side, I hand sewed it, which is the way I'm used to doing it. My little ones, I will use the sewing machine because they're so delicate. Hand sewing sometimes is hard. But if you have those little intricates and being able to do that, that's great for you. But yeah, I just did a straight stitch and an X straight, just made a pattern. And the inside, just kind of a mess. I really like the fabric ones because you have pockets. If you do use a pocket, make sure you stabilize this a bit more. You see the book is all sewed in, and it holds up pretty good. Very flexible book. If you don't want to use a brown paper bag, you can just use one of the white pieces of paper. Just add the extra piece of paper for your front and back, just like that. You can even do that. You can even sew along the edges, so that's the way it is. Be careful when you sew this page because it will rip. You could just leave it like this. I cut mine down. You could just leave it like this and decorate it whatever way you want. Put something in the back. If you want a thicker book, make several of these white ones and stack them together, and then the bindings, you sew them together with niches of the paper. There's a ton of YouTube videos about these things. I'll show the finished product. Sewing the Ragbook. Cut here, and then cut down here. You can use a thimble if you want. And continue sewing along the edge. You can use straight pins to hold the fabric down. There. I'm not going to put the inside cover on. I like it just the way it is. I actually like it looking like that. I think I'm going to make this my new moon book. If you want to add a bookmark in it, take a piece, measure it out. You can design it. This is just a scrap piece. Sew it up here. To put the other piece on the other side, take the piece of fabric, measure it out so it is the same size, and you can go around the edges to sew it and give it a framework, or you can just tuck it in between here and sew it in between those lines there. And like the other book I was showing you, you can have pockets. My daughter made a book as well. This is hers. She made a bigger book. She didn't want to do the inside either. I think she did a great job on it. This is the brown book I showed earlier. The pockets. I have my other little one that I have going right now. It's upstairs. So, just one of the many ways you can make a new moon book. Or a little gift for Christmas, since Christmas is coming up, or a birthday, or just yourself. Want to write poems or journal, dream journal, there you go. I like them. I think that they look so rustic and cool. Hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.